Hi, this is Brendan from Watto Training, and in this tutorial we take a look at an introduction to the C-Class manoeuvres for New South Wales trainers. On the driving test, the learner will be asked to do a number of manoeuvres that will be selected from the following: a curbside stop, a hill start, a three-point turn, parking, reverse parallel, 90-degree or 45-degree, front or rear to the curb, type depending on local availability. During the manoeuvres, the learner will be assessed on their ability to position the vehicle legally, safely, and accurately. Here are some instructional tips for trainers. Keep it simple and focus on what matters. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed. Confucius. Be concise. To be concise means brief but comprehensive. Be clear. To be clear means the instructor doesn't complicate the message. Break the information down into bite-sized pieces. Don't try to achieve too much too soon. Be patient. Progress at the rate the learner can manage. Driver setup. Before performing a maneuver, the driver must be correctly set up in the driver's seat. This includes seat, steering, and seat belt. Make sure the student's mirrors are correctly set up before driving and conducting maneuvers. Before conducting maneuvers, ask the question, am I in a safe location? Choose somewhere safe, legal, and convenient. Do not perform the maneuver where your vehicle will make it awkward for other users to pass. Observation is an essential skill for safely and correctly performing maneuvers. What is a hazard in relation to maneuvers? A hazard can be any possible source of danger on or near the road that could lead to a crash, and it can come from any direction. What is risk in relation to road safety? A hazard is anything that can cause harm, whereas risk is how great a chance that someone will be harmed by that hazard. Scanning. Scanning is keeping your eyes moving, checking in one area for no more than a couple of seconds, then moving your eyes to another area. Actively scan the road environment. Scanning means a driver takes in the whole scene 360 degrees around the vehicle. Use your peripheral vision. Peripheral vision is vision as it occurs outside the point of fixation, that is, away from the center of gaze. Scanning. When scanning, look in the distance, at the road surface, to the left and right, in your mirrors, and at instruments and gauges. Observation checks during maneuvers. During maneuvers, you must check for other vehicles, pedestrians, and possible hazards. Make sure you conduct your 6-point checks. That includes to the front, to the rear, left mirror, left shoulder, right shoulder. The numbers don't represent the order in which these checks are made. The numbers represent the 6 points. The driver needs to prioritize the checks based on level of risk. Be aware of blind spots around your vehicle. The learner must turn their head and check their blind spot before moving off from the curb to commence the maneuver or leaving the curb to rejoin the traffic. The learner must turn their head to check the blind spot before they steer if during the front of the vehicle will swing out into the lane, such as in the reverse park maneuver. Checking blind spots. All vehicles have a large blind spot behind them. Because of this blind spot, extra care must be taken when reversing, as small children can be out of view. You need to turn your head and look over your shoulder to check through the rear window for vehicles and pedestrians that may not be visible in your mirror. Checking your blind spots is an essential observation skill, as many crashes occur because drivers do not turn their head and look over their shoulder before steering. Frequently not performing observation checks will result in a fail in the test. The testing officer will be assessing your observation techniques throughout the test. You will fail if your your observation is poor. Reversing. While reversing, you must check in the direction of travel. This includes checking the mirrors and through the rear and side windows. You must use reversing cameras and sensors to aid reversing. However, you must also check your mirrors and the area around your vehicle. If your vehicle has a park assist device, this must be switched off for the reversing manoeuvres. Parking position. In relation to any parking relating to manoeuvres, you must park close and as near as practical to the curb. The test requires you to be parallel and closer than 500 millimeter to the curb. The wheels must not touch the curb. In parking position part 2, in relation to any parking, stay at least 1 meter away from other vehicles. The test requires you to be no more than 2 meters away from other vehicles when you park. Fail items for C-Class driving test: disobeying traffic signs, signals, or road markings, failing to give way when necessary, colliding with a vehicle, pedestrian, or object, performing an illegal act or maneuver, exceeding the speed limit, action requiring testing officer intervention, causing a dangerous situation, failing to maintain proper control of the vehicle, failing to exercise due care to avoid an accident, failing to give way to an emergency vehicle, disobeying directions from a person controlling traffic, frequently not signaling intention, refusing to attempt any part of the test, repeated or deliberate failure to follow directions, unreasonably obstructing other vehicles or pedestrians, receiving external advice or instruction during the test, not parking to the required standard, failing to maintain a safe following distance, frequently not performing observation checks. Thanks for watching. This has been Brendan from Watto Training.